All right, today we're jumping into something really wild. It's a system of numbers that seems to completely throw out the math rulebook we all learned. We're talking about a place where logic takes some very strange turns. Numbers have these deep, hidden connections, and everything seems to be pointing to one single, profound idea. So let's dive into this beautiful mess.
Okay, just look at this for a second. How can 24 equal 6, which also equals 5? I mean, on its face, that's just wrong, right? It feels like a mistake. Total nonsense. But what if I told you there's a hidden logic, a set of rules, that makes this statement perfectly sensible within its own world? Stick with me because we're going to unravel this beautiful mess together.
And this quote from the source material, it just nails it. It perfectly captures what we're looking at here. It's all about finding an unexpected order in what looks like total chaos and linking numbers, geometry, and philosophy in a way that's, well, surprisingly elegant.
So where do we even begin? Well, our journey starts with the absolute basics, the numbers 1 through 9. This is ground zero. It's where the fundamental rules of this really unique arithmetic get laid out. Let's see how it works.
So, how does this logic get built? It starts super simple. You've got the number 1, representing unity. Easy enough. Then, it uses basic addition to get to duality. But here's the first real twist. Instead of just adding, the system concatenates, which is a fancy way of saying it just sticks numbers together. So 1 and 2 become 12. Then, it takes the first 4 digits, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and pulls out 2 key values. Their sum, which is 10, and their product, 24. Now remember those two numbers, 10 and 24. They are the key to everything.
And this is a really, really important point. The system basically says, hey, the sum, 10, and the product, 24, they're connected. Now, in our math, 10 is 10 and 24 is 24, end of story. But in this system, nope, they're seen as two sides of the same coin, just different results that came from the same source numbers. This is our first major break from the math we know.
And this is how we crack that crazy puzzle from the beginning. Remember, 24 equals 6 equals 5? Okay, check this out. In this system's logic, you can reduce a number by adding up its digits, so 24 becomes 2 plus 4, which gets you to 6. But then it takes another creative leap. It breaks 6 down into its building blocks, 2 and 3, because 2 times 3 is 6. And if you take those blocks, 2 and 3, and add them, you get 5. Say, it's this chain of transformations that inside its own world makes perfect sense.
Okay, so we've got the number side of things down. Kind of. But now, the system adds another fascinating layer. Let's see how these abstract numbers start to build a bridge into the physical world of shapes and geometry.
And just when you think you're getting it, the sequence hits you with this. Phytoacaras 345. What on earth is phytoacaras? It sounds super cryptic, but it's actually the key that unlocks the connection between the numbers we've already seen, like 12, and a fundamental principle of geometry.
And boom, there it is, the big aha moment. Phytoacaras is pretty obviously a creative spelling of Pythagoras, right? And the numbers 3, 4, and 5, well, that's the most famous Pythagorean triple out there, the one that forms a perfect right-angled triangle. All of a sudden, these numbers aren't just symbols anymore. They're anchored in the harmony of geometry.
But it doesn't stop there. To make that connection even deeper, the system introduces the concept of qadar. The idea here is that this link between the numbers and the geometry isn't just a happy accident. No, it's seen as fated, something like a divine plan, suggesting a universe where math and destiny are literally woven into each other.
All right, buckle up. We've done the basic math, we've touched on the geometry, now we're diving into the big finale of the system, a really complex calculation that's meant to tie everything to a spiritual revelation.
And this is where it gets really specific. The system anchors its entire structure to a major spiritual event, the first revelation in Islam, which is detailed in chapter 96 of the Quran. This grounds the whole mathematical journey in a theological context, suggesting the numbers are pointing towards something divine.
So what's at the heart of this big revelation? It's this pretty unique sequence of numbers. The source material calls it Fibonacci-like, which kind of tells you there's a hidden pattern of growth here, but it definitely follows its own set of rules. This isn't just a random list. Every number is a stepping stone.
And remember that whole concatenation thing, where we just stick numbers together? Well, get ready. When you do that with this entire sequence, you get this, a massive, absolutely intimidating number. It just looks like a random string of digits, but every single one of them has a part to play.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. What are we supposed to do with that? But don't worry, the system gives us some pretty simple instructions. Just break that giant number into 3 specific chunks and add them up. What started out looking super complex is now just a basic addition problem.
And when you add those 3 chunks together, the result is, well, it's pretty incredible. 999, 999, 999. I mean, come on. That is not a random number. It's perfectly structured, it's deeply symbolic, and it's the absolute peak of this whole mathematical system.
So why that number? What's the big deal with 999,999? Well, according to this system's logic, it's a direct pointer to the number 99. And in Islam, 99 is a hugely significant number. It represents the 99 names of God. The entire mathematical journey has led straight to a core religious concept.
So you gotta ask, what is all of this? Is it just numerology? Some kind of mysticism? Well, the person who created this system says, no. They argue with something else entirely, a new kind of mathematics.
The whole idea, the absolute heart of this system, is wrapped up in one Arabic word, munasaba. This is so important because it's what's meant to separate it from something like numerology. It isn't about giving numbers random mystical meanings. It's about a deep search for the logical, structural, and relevant connections between them.
And you can see the difference right here. Numerology might just say, oh, 9 is a magic number. But this system of Munasaba says, no, 9 is a cohesive force because of its mathematical properties, which we see repeating over and over. It presents itself as a form of discovery, not just belief.
And to really describe this special role of the number 9, the system uses this fantastic Malay word kejelakitan, which means stickiness or cohesiveness. The idea is that the number 9 acts like a kind of mathematical glue, holding all these different parts of the system together in a cohesive whole.
And all of this, all these connections and ideas, it all boils down to this single, powerful thesis, the system's grand theory of everything, if you will. All logical connection equals all truth equals all mathematics. It's a really bold statement that basically says if you can find the logical links between things, you're uncovering the true mathematical fabric of reality itself.
So that's where we're left. And you have to wonder, right? Is this whole intricate web of connections a genuine map to some hidden order that's woven into the universe? Or is it a testament to the incredible, brilliant ability of the human mind to find beautiful, meaningful patterns in the beautiful mess that's all around us? Maybe the answer is just a matter of perspective.